68 of Digital Marketing 3. And we are going to be focusing on brand identity and success factors for a brand site. As you can see, guys, we have done lots of things here. We have done a lot. We've covered 68 lessons so far. So would you tell me that you would remember all the lessons that we've covered? Would you feel like you have learned something in Digital Marketing 3 so far? Would you say you can see where your money is going, guys?
Definitely so.
Okay. So let's look at brand identity. This helps because someone in this class, I think it was in 30, you mentioned corporate identity. So now we need to sort of discuss the difference between brand identity and corporate identity. Who wants to give a try? Do you think there's any difference between brand identity and corporate identity? Who wants to give a try? It crashed they sing that song, try, try, try again. I can't remember what are the next words from that. Do you know the song, guys? Have you been at Crash? Or some of you just jumped to primary school? All right, so the difference between corporate identity and brand identity. Corporate identity is about internal activities that shape perceptions, right? The things that we hear at Pick and Pay and how they do things, their stuff, the attitude that they have at the tills and stuff like that. Then you go to Woolies and the way their staff behave when they're at the tills. You know, those are the internal stuff that are shaped by the corporate culture or the ways of doing things in different companies. Then a brand identity is how an organization wants to be perceived by its audience. So to realize that even if it's an internal activities of a company, still as a company, you can have branding initiatives so that you cement the corporate identity that you have. So that's why I told you, Tati, that corporate identity can be a child of branding identity. But sometimes it can be different. It can be different. You see mothers who are so terrible or who are so fearful when they are at home. Like at home, it's no nonsense. But the moment you are at church or you are outside, they are so likable, and you wouldn't see that arrogance in them. You wouldn't see that aggression in them. You know, they are nice, they love people, but when they're at home, they've got another identity. So the branding identity, they want to be loved in the public through the branding activities of being nice, of being lovable and stuff like that, while their self-identity is completely different. I don't know if I'm making any sense, guys.
You are making sense, sir.
See that father of yours who doesn't want to hug you at home, but if it's during graduation, it's like he always hug you every day. At home, of course. So that's the difference between brand identity and corporate identity. And sometimes it can be vice versa. Someone once told me that couples are always cuddling in public, they're busy touching each other, sometimes even inappropriately. They actually do nothing when they are in private. People busy with Kwabisela, you know. Then when is the two of them dololo? Ever heard about that, Ntati?
So I've never heard about it, nor have I ever experienced it. So I'm hearing this for the first time.
Okay, you're going to experience it very soon, eh? Get that partner who's going to be. So yes, so there are companies, for example, will be like, our employees work very hard. We give them bonuses at the end of the year. They are saying that in their branding initiatives, you know, but internally the staff know very well that they don't get any bonuses. Okay, so we just discussed the long tail concept. Can someone explain the long tail concept as part of revision, guys? Please just show me that at least we are on the same page. You understand the things that I'm talking about. Can someone volunteer to describe the long tail concept?
So I have a question instead.
All right, let's hear your question. Since you don't want to volunteer but want to ask me, let's hear your question.
Is the zip flow a component of the long tail concept, or is it the same thing?
It is the same thing. So the long tail concept is derived from the zip law.
Long tail concept is when wait. Okay. Long tail concept is when product that doesn't have popularity and frequency of use are placed under the product that has the most popularity and frequency in the community. I don't know if they really grand manure.
Yes, there's some sense in that, and thank you so much, Tangiso, for volunteering. So I know I know that you might struggle here and there explaining in English, but I get it that you understand what I was explaining. So thank you for that. Yes, the long-tail concept is all about pairing unpopular products with popular products. That's it. Pairing unpopular products with popular products. Mixing the ugly person with the hottest person so that the ugly person can also somehow become hot or can be perceived as hot. Those are the examples that I gave you guys in the previous lesson. The same thing that Tankiso mentioned. Pairing someone who is not that intelligent, you pair that person with intelligent people so that the person can also learn to be intelligent. All right. Now we move on to the outcomes of today's lesson. So you guys need to be able to explain the success factors of a brand site. You'd realize that even if you run a brand, this lesson is going to help you, especially if you've got a site. And this is not necessarily a brand site, but also the sites that you manage for your personal brand, such as your social media pages and stuff like that. And I've sort of snooped on you guys on your social media pages. Where do you hang out? I think I only found Tankis on LinkedIn, if I remember. Where are you guys on digital platforms? Or Limo Mama Fundis, or you've got different names that I don't know.
So I'm literally everywhere.
For example, Tati could be me, could be QTB. I'm busy looking for Tati, not knowing that there's QTB.
I'm on almost every digital platform, but I don't.
Okay, but my advice to you guys, especially as you enter the corporate ladder, avoid using those funny nicknames. Always use your names wherever you are on online digital platforms. So instead of calling yourself Queen D, short for Queen Diani, just call yourself your natural name, It won't hurt, be it on Twitter or on Facebook, that actually enhances the power of your networks. I don't know if I'm making any sense, people.
I do use my full names on my social media.
I didn't say that, Lesedi, you don't use your.
Platforms,
I'm
so-
just using that as a. You don't have to be defensive, Lesedi. Don't attack me.
No, I get you. I'm
So-
not being defensive.
Okay, I'm just saying that, there's no need for you to call yourself Vilagazi Babe. No, guys. That's for high school, by the way. I'm just giving you some tips. I'm just giving you some tips, guys. Calling yourself Skizzy. Then now I'm confused. Who is this Skizzy? Who is Mr. Skizzy? So things like that. It's just an advice that I would give you guys. You can take it or leave it, but yeah, it does have some impact on your personal brand, especially when you look at the professional career. All right, let's move on. So these are the things that you are going to, the terms that you are going to come across as the lesson progresses. We have got the terminology of brand advocate, brand identity, brand equity, and brand experience. Which words on this screen are you more familiar with? And which ones do you feel like they are completely strange to you?
So I'm familiar with all of them.
Pardon?
I'm saying I'm familiar with all of them.
With all of them. Okay. Kia, which one are you familiar with and which one are you not familiar with?
It's the first time I'm hearing of a brand advocate, but I've heard of brand equity and brand experience.
Okay, Lebo. Lebo is not in class. Okay. All right. I think, have you guys at some point regard yourself as a brand advocate?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So in your own opinion, what are the success factors of a brand site, be it a website or a social media site? What are the success factors, guys? What would make someone who's not a celebrity but an influencer gain 5 million followers?
Consistency on your business trends and affairs.
Okay, consistency, correct. What else, guys?
Engagement, sir.
Engagement, correct. What else? Honor ladies, let's hear a lady.
affiliating themselves with people.
Affiliate, so the people that you affiliate yourself with or what? Can you please elaborate on that one, Miss
Yes,
Diane?
like affiliating themselves with celebrities who are already in the public eye. So when
Okay.
you're around them and people continuously see you with them,
So would you call that endorsement?
then entirely you're also in business.
All right. So have you guys ever been at some point of being a brand advocate? You
know.
said yes. Which brand have you advocated for?
So I have.
You have. In what
Yes.
instance?
I used to be like, so I was working for this other salon, so they would like do my hair and take pictures like that and post on their page. I don't know if that's considered a brand ambassador.
Okay, you guys all of a sudden you're busy marketing something that you have not been asked to market.
Pardon?
Think about the soccer fans. They become brand advocates. Think about the way they fight for their teams.
Oh, see.
Yeah.
And then there's this brand, I think is doing well. I can say I'm an advocate of that brand. And the name of the brand is Adcore. People must go check it.
Already you're now advocating it to us. We don't want your brand, thank you. So okay, I get what you're saying.
That's a strategy, Minir.
I
Yeah.
get what you're saying, and we've seen people advocating their relatives, their partners. Hey, my man doesn't cheat. Hey, my woman is this. Who asked you? Anyway, let's move forward. Who is laughing? Let me go back. Luyanda Villagas,
Yes, sir.
haven't you advocated for your partner before?
I advocate for myself, unfortunately.
Ungakuzwanga, with no one asking you, all of a sudden, you have now a degree in end media, talking about something that haven't been asked.
Yes, rather that than
Yo,
something
you
else.
guys, did you say that you're only focusing on yourself? Why is it you guys always portray yourself as some people are single?
We're not portraying. I just said I'm not an.
I mean, in this class, there's only one person who have like literally opened up that she or he is taken. The rest, if your partners would know that you reject them in class.
So I didn't say anything.
David.
I just said I don't advocate for them. I'd rather do that for myself.
Not rejection.
If you want us to
That's a rejection because they are denying them in public. Thank
That's
you,
not
so.
denying. That's just saying I
Thank
didn't
you.
do
So you
that.
realize that that partner of yours, maybe she's my niece, and you are busy saying that you are single. Then one day I tell you that there's this student who say that he's single, only to realize that is the boyfriend. You know that you can get dumped for that.
So this is not the movies. Okay.
Now we're talking about movies. Anyway, let's go back to class. I see all of a sudden Lesedi's mic was on for 5 hours, busy defending herself. It's not good to reject others, Lesedi. So, as we're talking about branding, have you ever influenced others to make them aware of the Boston brand, or at least make them try the brand? Do you ever talk about Boston, guys? or you're actually embarrassed to be studying at Boston?
Honestly.
So I don't, but I've seen some people who even go as far as putting like Boston Media House on their bio on Instagram.
Okay. Why don't you, Luyanda?
Hayi bazongitshontsha. Mina bengazi sengifunda
So you're protecting your brand or you're protecting yourself?
safety.
All right, Ntati, you were saying something. I saw your mic on.
I was saying that I don't advocate for Boston.
Why don't you?
I have a lot of complaints. They outweigh the good things.
So you have had a lot of complaints about Boston to an extent that based on those complaints, you cannot associate yourself with Boston.
You could say that.
Okay. Level?
Say I do advocate for Boston.
All right.
Yeah, so most especially in terms of like music, you know, because there's like a lot of celebrities that are coming to school. So, and also the social events that they have at school. So I feel like it's a great place to like actually market yourself, you know, as a brand, as a personal brand.
Okay. By the way, Level, were you singing or screaming last night?
What do you mean, sir?
You have got a deep voice today, like you're talking from a container. I think I've talked about branding as I'm like, huh? What's happening here? All right. Ladies, did you hear that voice? Is it a normal voice? Like the normal Level that you know? Now the ladies are quiet. This class. All right, let's look at success factors for brand sites. A brand website is one of the 5 classes of website or parts of the site which support different organizational goals. So realize that a website or a platform that a company owns, it serves many purposes. The other purpose will be to sell, the other purpose will be to promote, and the other purpose will be for partnerships and stuff like that. So digital platforms like transactional sites such as Takealot or relationship building sites, portals, or social media also seek to provide a favorable brand experience. Developers of brand sites and managers of sites need to think carefully of the best way the brand can engage with customers, given lack of content naturally associated with low involvement products. I think someone spoke about engagement when I asked you guys what are the success factors for a brand. Someone mentioned engagement, you know. So for example, would you interact with a brand that barely produces content? I've seen especially schools and churches, you know, you go to their website, it was last updated 5 years ago. Even the school fees that you are looking for or the rates, they are for 5 years ago. So that's not a good thing for marketing initiative. It has to be alive. You know, we come to your social media page as a personal brand. We need to see your recent images, your recent activities. Not if I go to Level's LinkedIn profile and it only says about your primary education, because that was the last time you edited your LinkedIn profile. So your profile, guys, is like a CV in community. If, for example, you achieve something, you know, you need to update it. You are going to graduate at the end of this year, if everything goes well. you need to update your professional profiles. So it has to be up to date. Someone mentioned about consistency. So it has to be consistent. And this thing must involve marketing students. The problem is that most organizations only involve developers, you know, but this is the job for marketing practitioners who can be well aware of the success factors for brand sites. Like we are doing right now in class, I'm teaching you guys about the success factors, but someone who is doing IT, I don't think can be able to be taught the success factors. So that person can be good in coding, you know, in developing the site, but they won't be able to know what is it that works for a site. So it can be argued that it is not the quantity of visitors that is important. Rather, it is about the quality of visitors, since brand sites are most likely to attract brand advocates who can be important in influencing others to make them aware of the brand or trial the brand. So it is important that brand sites provide a home for those who are loyal to the brand and advocates. The importance of achieving customer engagement with brand sites must be addressed in order to encourage participation or even co-creation of the content. For example, brands can encourage users to share and submit their comments, stories, photos, or videos. Once engaged in this way, visitors are more likely to return to the site to see others' productions, such as comments. Does it make sense, people?
Sir,
Yebo.
I have electricity. I'm out, sir. Thank
All
you.
right, see you next time. My battery is also drained, but I hope that this electricity is coming back now, because it should be coming back now at 12. Good luck, thank you. So enjoy the darkness. It's so sad. It's so sad to see you leaving. All right. Any questions about the success factors for your brand sites? Brand identity. What is brand identity? It is the totality of brand associations, including name, symbol, logo, products, and everything that is being communicated. It was emphasized by those authors that the importance of developing a plan to communicate the key features of the brand identity and increasing, it also increases brand awareness. Therefore, brand identity is gained more than the name. So I will come to your personal identities, guys. Do you think there is a message that you communicate out there about your identity as an individual? And if so, here's the tricky part. If so, what message are you communicating? Now, no one wants to say something. Guys, is there a message that you are communicating out there about yourself?
Sir, can you please repeat the question?
So, is there a message that you are communicating about yourself, Tati, out there? Be it in form of the things that you say or the things that you wear.
I'd say online, I present myself as someone that is not serious. Like, I'm very playful.
Okay. We know Kia presents herself as someone who's very shy, but I know that in her real life, she's not a shy person. Do you agree with me, Kia, or you don't agree with me?
To some degree, I guess. But I'm sorry.
Okay, so there are two rules for naming online brands. So we have got the law of the common name. So they say the kiss of death for an internet brand is a name. So to realize that someone out there, we have got a name called apple.com. Apple, which is the phone manufacturer for the iPhones. All of a sudden, someone also wants to use the same name but removes a P or an L. Then the law of a proper name, they say your name stands alone on the internet, so you'd better have a good one. We are going to talk about names a lot in this lesson. It's so unfortunate that some have left due to load shedding, but I hope you guys are not going to be offended. But let me read this paragraph before we speak about naming, because naming has got something to do with identity as well. The characteristics of the words chosen to represent a brand can influence consumer behavior and be linked to the propensity with which a buyer will engage with a brand. Therefore, in order to increase the likelihood that a consumer will engage with a brand, it should be easy to pronounce, have interesting arrangements of syllables and consonants so as to make the name easy to recall, but should not be too similar to other words, thereby causing confusion with other names. So you'd realize even the naming of a child, some of your names, guys, if you were a brand, do you think your name was going to be confusing to consumers? So there is a Chinese person whose surname is Tong, T-O-N-G, Tong. With Chinese, we've got Xingzhong, Zhongtong, and stuff like that. So you have got someone whose surname is Tong. Then they've got a child. They name that child Bill. We know that Bill is an American name anyway. So if they ask that child at school whose surname is Tong and name is Bill, how would they pronounce their full name? I'm listening, guys. Did you hear me? Tati, Kia, and Brianda, are you guys there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's Bill Tong.
Yes, I'm saying that if someone's name is Bill and their surname is Tong, then they ask you, what is your name and surname? You say, my name is Bill Tong. Now we've got biltong, that is meat, right? Dried meat. We all know biltong, right?
Yes, sir.
So you have to be very careful with naming, especially if you are naming a business or a website, because if words are combined or if syllables are combined, at the end of the day, you have an undesirable name that people can actually make fun out of. Imagine calling someone Dixon. We've heard names like Dixon. What is the short of Dixon? How do you call someone, like if you are Luyanda, we say Yanda or Luya. What would you say to Dixon?
Hey,
Luyanda?
I don't know.
You don't know now. Tati, what would you say the short for the name Dixon?
DK.
Oh, you say DK. Okay, that's cool. So you know that names can always be abbreviated and stuff like that, you know. And customers, I know what you'd say. You won't say DK, you won't say XN, but you'd say something. So customers can actually have shortened name. You hear people, instead of saying DSTV, people say DS. I don't know if you've heard that. Already it's a short name. Customers are further shortening it. You know, my DS is not paid.
Other people,
Things like that. Or BMW. How many times, guys, have you heard people saying BM for BMW?
I say it.
You say it, right? Instead of saying BMW, you say BM. So always think about your brand identity in terms of a name. Because if your name is not pronounced well, or if your name, if you combine it, it becomes something else, or a vulgar language, whatever it is, you know, it can confuse customers, and sometimes customers cannot want to associate with that undesirable name. I've come across many websites that are in Afrikaans. You know, it's so difficult to pronounce them. And at the end of the day, I just feel like it won't be good if I buy from them because I don't even know how to call their name. So in essence, good brand names are those which are easy to remember and pronounce, but also have potential to catch the identity of a customer. So do you understand branding, guys? Remember, very soon you're going to have kids. Be careful of the names that you give them. Leander, all of a sudden you've got a son called Dixon. They will call him Dick at school. Okay. So in conclusion, this lesson should have helped you to develop a greater awareness of digital marketing by understanding the success factors for brand sites and identity, brand identity. Learners must be able to apply the elements of the marketing mix in an online context and evaluate the opportunities that the internet, digital media, and technology make available for varying the marketing mix. Are there any questions, guys, about this lesson?
No questions, sir.
Okay, if there are no questions, we then move on to the last lesson for today. If not so, we are going to look at the case study. So we are going to look at how do we apply the long tail concept in branding in the digital environment and brand identity. So we are going to do an exercise based on this lecture and the lecture that we had before.
Sir, are you sharing the screen?